it's just one of those things that you can't slack on. But been very great, very grateful and very blessed to be able to get through it with my wife. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up on how life's been at 24, it's been good. Generally, it's been good. There's bumps in the road, when you get to kind of this age, or even, realistically, when you turn 18, you're like, oh, I'm an adult. Not fully, to be honest. You're still young, you really don't have an idea of what really reality is and how life actually operates and how people move, how companies move, and all these extra things. Once you're 19, 20, right there, you're already looking for 21. So you can, if you want to drink alcohol or do whatever you want to do, you want to start officially being a full adult, you hit it at 21, right? So 21 is always looking fun and forward to it. Then you hit 21, you have your fun, right? At least from my experience through family and friends and my own experience, when I hit 22, I hit a point in my life where I was like, I really don't know what I'm doing. Seriously, you're neither friends, family, you start graduating college or getting married or buying cars or just doing a lot of stuff, starting businesses. You see it all, right? So you start questioning your own self-worth because you're seeing all this occur around you, right? Don't. At 22, you're going to have these thoughts that are it's like your first midlife crisis that you have at such a young age, but don't worry about that stuff, because one thing you have to think to yourself is, how much did that person go through in order to get that? What is that person going through? A lot of the stuff that gets posted on social media isn't really what it is. So it's just one of those things. Don't compare your level 1, level 2, level 3 to somebody's level 20, level 25, 30, and all that, right? Because you don't know what that person went through in order to have that stuff. So you can't really compare. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is yourself, on who you were yesterday, because you got to make sure you're doing better than what you were doing yesterday in order to progress. And so you hit that at 22. It's okay. Relax. Take a breath. Everything will be okay. Keep in mind, we're all really young. We're just trying to figure out life. And if you're older, you might just still be going through it, and it's okay. We're all different parts in life at different times. We all grew up differently. Some things we all dealt with similarly. Some things completely different. We're all navigating life all differently, but we're all just trying to figure it out and get through it. Now, once you hit 23, you kind of go, I was tripping at 22, At this point, by 22, you start thinking a lot, right? What I need to do next, what I want to do. So you start going back to school, or you're trying to finish off so you can graduate. You're starting your career, or you're trying to start business. One of the advantages of being young is, try new things. We are young enough to be able to fail and get back up and keep going. A lot of folks, when they're a lot older, can't really do that. You have families, responsibilities. You can't mess around with a lot of stuff like that. So when you're young and don't have that many responsibilities, take a chance, because the only way you'll know if you really find out is by taking a chance. And one of the chances I took in life with my wife was, let's buy a house. That was something that we planned for. Now at 23, got the house at 23. Was a beautiful thing. I thank the Lord it happened, because it was really a miracle, and I can't really say a lot more to it than, he really blessed us on that. But a lot of this came with building a relationship with God, improving yourself, your inner side, your mental. You have to fight a lot of inner battles in order to conquer obstacles and conquer the world, per to say. Now that I'm 24, things have been really good, but also have been a bumpy road. At 23, when I bought the house, I had a good paying job. I had everything like that. I left all that because of where we moved out and a lot of things that happened in between that. But I hit a rough point in my life where I had no money in my account. I was getting fat. I was just playing video games too long. I was really just letting my life go by. And, thankfully to my wife, she was really working hard. So I was trying to pick up jobs here and there on the side and all that to try to make up some money to help with bills and everything like that. But it was really rough to get a job. And then one day I really hit a patch and I prayed to the Lord, because sometimes we forget, sometimes we get to a point where we're doing really good and we forget that we were put in that position by God, if you believe in faith. I believe in it, so when I get placed in a position, I have to remind myself, hey, I'm in this position because God allowed me to be in this position. If he didn't want me to be in it, or I'm not going to be grateful, he's going to take it away from me. That's why the saying goes, you don't know how good you have it until it's gone. And so I was in that position and I really wanted to do something better. I felt like I already had achieved something very great at my age. However, there was more that I wanted to go after. There was more that I wanted to conquer and achieve, and just didn't know how to do it. really pray that day and, ask God for confirmations and signs. If you ask God for stuff, he will give it to you. You just won't get it the way you want it. You pray for strength, he's going to give you problems to go through so you could get through them. If you want patience, he's going to give you problems to figure out. Anything you ask for him, he'll give it to you, but not in the way that you expect it. You have to earn it, and everything in life is always going to be a test to see if you deserve it. But to go back to my story, I asked for confirmation of the Lord of what he wanted me to do next. At this point, I was really going through it, and I just wanted to be a better man. I wanted to be a better husband. I just wanted to be a better person, and I wanted to serve a purpose greater than myself, or serve a purpose that I could get on board with. And for me, I decided to join the military. It was just one of those things that I always had in the back of my mind. It was always my plan B. You have plan A, plan B. Plan A is never supposed to change if you got a plan B. That's why there's a plan B. My plan A always kept changing. I kept trying new businesses, trying different things. It just wasn't working out. But plan B always stayed the same. And so I made the decision. I talked to my wife about it. A lot of conversations. The military is a huge change and a huge thing to take on. And after a lot of conversations, she was on board with it. She already had seen the hints since we first started dating, and they were just always there. I just hadn't seen them. She had seen some of the clues. So from that point to now, it's been about almost a year, and it's been a lot of losing weight, trying to get fit, trying to get mentally fit, just a lot of things in between them in order to set everything up. I officially leave to the military, to the Air Force, next month at the end of May, right after my wife's birthday. So fortunate enough to stay for her birthday, but I'll be gone for a few months after that. And the reason I'm going into the military is just, again, I want to serve a greater purpose. I want to do something bigger than myself. And it's a chance for me to lock in on things that I myself don't believe I can lock myself in. Now, I believe in myself that I could do this journey. The thing is, I need some corrections in my life in order for me to hit this next chapter in my life, to get to the next levels that I want to go to, and take my wife through all that. I want to be able to get to a point where I can give my wife whatever she wants. I want to be financially stable, have financial freedom where it's not an issue when having these problems come up or anything comes up. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, we got it. It's fine. We'll get through it. So the military for me is what I believe can allow that to happen. Now, if you have the self-discipline and self-strength to be able to do it, then you can do it without the military. But for me, where I'm at in life right now, I think it's opportunity. I'm somebody that I like to do things and experience life a certain way, because when I get older, I want to be able to tell these stories. If God allows me to live a very long life, and I do hope so, I want to be able to also just one day, when I'm on my deathbed, know that I did everything I wanted to, and I did everything I wish I did. So it wouldn't be a wish. So it was so they say, I wish I did this. It was like, no, I did that. Was it the best experience? Probably. Was it the worst experience? Probably. But who knows? I will only know by going through it. And so it's just one of those things where I was like, the military is something I wanted to do since a kid, and I feel like it's the right journey, and so far has been. I'm just in the process of applying to join the Air Force and qualifying for it. Got back to trying to get fit, trying to do so many things in order to just qualify. And that alone made me a better person. So that alone let me know that I was heading in the right direction. And through all of it, I asked the Lord, send me some confirmations, let me know I'm doing the right things. And he did. He really did. And now I'm at a point where just kind of last minute preparations for everything's trying to get my life in order before I leave, so there's no issues that I leave or no weight that I leave on my wife. So all she has to worry about is just making sure our bills are paid, and that's it. That's the biggest thing. She's gonna miss me a lot. I'm gonna miss her a lot. We have 2 dogs. Man, I'm gonna miss all of them so much. But it's just one of those things that we have to take, right? There's always a little small sacrifices you have to make in life in order to move to the next step. And you come to realize, the bigger your dream, the bigger the sacrifice. The smaller the dream, the less you got to do. And I'm really ambitious, and I really want to go after some big things, because there's a lot that I want to do in life. And the only way to get to that point is by starting at one point. We're never going to be ready. It's just having the mentality to say, I'm going to just start today. That's what they either say, day one or one day. Because you have to make up your mind whether you're doing it or not. And then when you're doing it, it's fighting that thought of not wanting to do it certain days. But you got to just show up. The most important thing is just showing up for yourself, showing up for your family, or for whatever reason, purpose you have in doing anything, which